Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I want to show you how I run the Winter Nexus sites, which just dropped yesterday, and I want to show you how you can find them and how you can run them with a Vargor Marauder. So first of all, what are these sites? You can go into the agency to find that out, well, kind of. The Winter Nexus is an event, just like all the other ones. You can do sites and earn points to get some rewards. But with this one, the cool thing is that you don't actually have to find the sites. The sites find you because they are filaments. You can buy these filaments in Jita, and there are high sec, low sec, and null sec variants of these. And you can just take one, and then you can filament into event space. Event space, what do I mean by that? If you look at the map and you filter for metaliminal storms, you can find that under Geography and Statistics. And if you tick metaliminal storms, then you can see there are a lot of storms around New Eden. And if you looked at the map before, then mostly it's only like a few, but now they added the winter storms in the event. And pretty much all the storms in high sec and low sec are these winter storms, so you will land somewhere around there. And I just did that. I filamented into this storm. Right now I'm in the center of it, so there will be a lot of sites in this system. And if you undock, it will look like Christmas. And you will also find the winter sites, which I am going to show you how to run now. Well, the PvE sites, the mining sites are pretty straightforward. So yeah, we are here. And if you look at the probe window, you can see that there are sites. There are the White Storm forward bases and the fading volatile ice fields. In the ice fields you have to mine ice and then turn it in for loot boxes, I think. And in the White Storm forward bases you just kill NPCs and get some loot. So let's go there and see how that works out. Oh, there's a paladin already there, but we can see if you can contest him. My fit is pretty straightforward. I have polarized guns for more DPS and tracking. Shield booster, this is Gist X-Type base. It's a bit bricked, so probably around 800 million. Then a Republic Fleet Cavalry, 2 True Sunshine Weapifiers, rolled for range. Got around 17 kilometers on them. 1 tracking commuter for more range. And 1 grappler, and then in the lows we got damage, and in the rigs we have capacitor. I will link a picture of the Python in my description if you want to see the full stats on this, but it's pretty straightforward. These sites are not very hard, you can do them with pretty much any Marauder, and you don't really need a lot of tank. Alright, let's go in there and see if the Paladin is still there and what wave he is in. These sites have 2 waves. The first wave is a bunch of frigates and cruisers, and the second wave is the command battleship. Only the battleship drops loot, and that's the one that you want to get. So in the first wave you can pretty much kill the guys without looting them. They also drop stuff, but that's pretty worthless. Or do they? I don't know these symbols, they look weird to me, so yeah. But yeah, they might drop stuff, they might not, let's see. Okay, so the cool thing with this Vargor is that compared to the Paladin, you apply way better. The Vargor has about a 9.5 rated tracking, and the Paladin only has about 3. So I track way better, which actually makes me complete the sites faster. And even if I only have faction ammunition, I still have 2.8 thousand DPS. So that's probably like only 100 DPS less than a Conflict Paladin, and I have more range. So if the boss is like at 30 kilometers, then the Paladin has to either choose if he wants to shoot Scorch and only have like 1.5k DPS, or he shoots Conflict and then he's in deep fall off, and he also does not do a lot of DPS. So we can see now I am shooting the Overmind, and I will probably win, even though the Paladin has the better damage type. Let's see. Speaking big words, and I actually did not win. That's surprising. But yeah, sometimes you do not win. But usually I would say you can contest most Marauders. So let's go to another wave. This one to another site, and this one will actually be empty, so I can show you how it looks like to run a completely new site. And how the loot is on that one. Huh. I'm actually quite surprised that he out DPS'd me. But that's probably because the boss spawned pretty close and the Paladin was able to apply a lot of conflict DPS. Most of the times the boss will stay at like 30 kilometers or even at 30 to 40 kilometers. And there I would say the Vargor can out DPS a Paladin. Kronos, you can pretty much out DPS him as well, except if the boss is like really far away, because you only have about 50 kilometers fall off and the Kronos loads null. but most Kronuses, I would say, are not that smart and they just try to shoot void and then you easily win. And Golem is also easy win because the Golem has missile flight time. So while you already do like 5000 DPS at 5000 damage, the Golem still has to wait for his torpedoes to actually arrive at the target. Okay, new site. This one is actually a very lucky first wave because normally there are like 5 frigates and 2 cruisers, but in this one it's only 3 ships. You can see they will ping once you warp in to get on top of you, and then you can start shooting them. Frigates are not really an issue since you have the 3 webs, so you can apply perfectly at them. You only have to wait like 1 or 2 web cycles for them to slow down. Cruisers you apply good as well as it's cruisers. They are quite big. So yeah, frigate, he burned straight at us, so he dies. And now the cruiser, he's not in web range yet, but he also has pretty low transversal, so we get good hits in. You can already try to web this guy, never mind, he's at 20 kilometers. Now he dies. And you can see that these sites, you can complete them very fast. So you can run a lot of sites in a very short amount of time. And that's also the reason why the payout per site is actually not that good. But because you can blitz them so fast, you can actually make a good amount of money on these without having to farm a lot. Alright, let's wait for the boss to spawn. That's a bit annoying. I think you could cut your side times quite a lot if the boss instantly spawns, but this way you have to do 2 siege cycles instead of one. But yeah, it is what it is. You can see tank is holding well. I have about 600 DPS active tank, so if you want to compare your numbers to that. But yeah, you don't really need a lot of tank on the... Okay, Paladin slit now, but I'm pretty sure that I already got the boss. Yeah, like, you just have so much DPS, everything just melts under your guns. It's pretty awesome. Alright, let's get that one in and let's see how the loot is. It's usually about 10 to 20 million. Yeah, 21 million. That's actually a lucky drop. Got, yeah, purifier skin. This will be worth less now with the event and the drug, which is not priced yet. So yeah, this is like maybe 10 to 15 million. That's normal for the event sites. They don't spawn massive amounts of loot, but yeah, you can chain them quite fast, and they also respawn quite quick. But now we are in this system. We don't have any more sites. But if you go to the agency and we look in the combat anomalies, then we can see one jump there are 4 sites. Another jump there's also 3 sites. Here there are also 2 sites. So finding sites should not really be an issue. Which is quite cool about this event, because in a lot of events I've heard that people had trouble finding sites, and in this one you definitely won't have the trouble to find sites. You just have the trouble of having to warp around constantly, because the sites get done so fast. But yeah, that's fine. Oh, what's happening there? Nice bug, okay. Another thing to note is that in these clouds you have thermal resistance bonus and heat damage bonus, so you get less heat damage and you have higher thermal resistances, so which is actually pretty cool. Like if you want to run a sacrilege, for example, which has a thermal hole, this kind of plugs your thermal hole a bit, which is a niche thing. So yeah, like T2 Amar ships will have a very good time here. But in general, all ships will have a good time here, because the NPCs actually do EM and thermal damage, and you get thermal damage bonus, so it will be easier to run them. Yeah, note that I run high-grade crystals, but that's only because I run polarized. You can probably run a normal T2 fit, and still have enough tank for the side. If you want to make a fit and you want to compare it to mine for tank-wise, just have a look at the description. I will link my a screenshot of my Python there, so you can compare it. Yeah, one thing to note is that if you run the battleships, you want to have at least a grappler and a web. I would recommend grappler, web, and tracking computer. But for example, on a Paladin, it can be hard if you fly cheap to have 3 mids, and only one of them is capacitor, so you can do like dual cap battery, grappler, and webify, and that should be fine. Just make sure you bring multi-frequency. For the Kronos, yeah, you have enough mids to fit a lot of application, and it tracks good. And Golem, you apply anyway. Like, of course, you won't apply good, but if you bring like a grappler and a web and a target painter, then you should be able to run the sites as well. Personally, I would say the Vargo is the best, because you apply so good to the NPCs. For the boss, the Paladin can be better than the Vargo, as you just saw, but yeah, I just want to have a ship that can run the sites very fast. I don't really care that much about the boss, because the sites do take the major amount of time. So yeah, I am optimized towards the site. Okay guys, if you have any more questions, feel free to ask in the comments and I will try to answer them. Otherwise, if you liked the video, feel free to subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!